Hello everyone and welcome to today's practical session where we are going to apply advanced sugar configuration to overcome business challenge. And let me introduce today's host. My name is Anastasia and I am CRM consultant at Integros, and I have been working in CRM projects for 7 years. And couple of words about Integros. We are Sugar CRM partner and provides full range of Sugar CRM services as well as develops add-ons for Sugar. And based on our experience of more than 150 completed CRM projects from 10 countries, we find out that regardless of the country and type of company business, each company is unique when it comes to a particular CRM user story. And Integros provide Logic Builder cloud tool to configure and refresh unique user stories in Sugar up to 10 times faster. And today I'm really excited to introduce our special guest Lars from Logis Solutions, who agreed to find time today to share his practice of applying Logic Builder for configuring Logis CRM. Hi Lars.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. I'm glad to be here. And to shortly introduce myself, I started my career as a banker, and later on I changed to do some stockbroking in that bank. I then changed the path in my career, starting to work with the CRM. And I have been working with CRM for a Norwegian CRM vendor for 12-13 years as a consultant and as head of consultancy. And 5 years ago, I started to work with Sugar and have been doing so ever since. Now I work for a company called Logis Solutions, which provides intelligent dispatch systems for 911 emergency throughout the world. My role at Logis Solutions is I started as a CRM consultant, but I changed into a compliance manager as we found out that we would like to use Sugar throughout the organization for every process possible. And we would like to do that while we are phasing out existing systems that we can provide the same functionality or even better functionality through Sugar, and also with support from Logic Builder in Logic Builder. So that was a short introduction of myself, and to go on a bit, I would like to state why I am even here today. I started to look for a solution that could do coding for me, because I have quite a few years experience with doing business logic in different CRM systems, but I do not have any coding experience. And sometimes I need to implement solutions, both small and larger solutions that are more complex, and I sometimes need a bit more flexibility than out of the box configuration possibilities allows me to use during my implementation. So I was starting looking around on the internet to see if I could find a tool like that, and I found Logic Builder, and I started to look around the website, and I read a few things about Logic Builder, and I decided to download the free trial, and that was pretty easy to do. And then I watched some of the videos that Anastasia has made, which is also available on the internet. And I was trying to do, I was trying to follow what Anastasia was teaching in the videos. And I built some of the flowcharts and the logic that she also teaches in the videos. And after around 2 days, we decided that we would like to buy this tool. So I bought it, and I started thinking, how should I get started with this? And we have a small task at Logis Solutions that I thought would be nice to try out if I could manage that through Logic Builder. And I would like to share wordings around that and show you how I started with using Logic Builder for that simple task. So Anastasia, can I have the screen?
Sure, just a few clicks and screen is yours now.
Screen is mine.
Yep.
And I am now showing.
Yeah, see Logic Builder.
Yes, exactly. But first, I would like to show to the audience. This is the task that I would explain a bit more about in a few minutes. So the task for us was to build a custom module called Hours Task, where we would like to be able to register the time that we are using providing solutions for our customers. So when we build or deploy or fix things for them, we would like to register this time and connect it to records inside Sugar. So basically what we are going to do is that we are going to create these hours task records when we create a new opportunity. That is basically what I am going to show you in Logic Builder, how I did that. With this said, I will shift back to my Logic Builder. I have a login. And I have a different sets of projects where I store different kind of logic, but of course I have prepared myself a bit. So I will load this project. What we see right here is the Logic Builder canvas, and we have some different options up here, which I will suggest that you will get familiar with watching some of the videos that Anastasia has provided us on the internet. But for this particular case, I have already pre-built a small flowchart, which is called Hours Task Skeleton. So I click my flowchart, which represent logic that we can implement into Sugar. So I will load it up. And you see there are some blocks or operators up here. I am moving the canvas by right-clicking and moving around the mouse. What we see here, the operators that I highlight by clicking on them, all comes from the toolbox. The toolbox consists of all the operators that we need for building our logic. And of course, I have prepared it a bit. So now I would explain what it is this logic actually does. So you see, it's pretty easy to read because it consists of different colored operators that I will be able to connect in the way that I would like my logic to be performed when I install it in Sugar. The first thing that I have here is an operator called onDataChange, and that is the operator that actually initiates this logic. So what I have chosen here is that I have chosen the module, which is opportunities, and I would like the logic to run on the after save event. So when an opportunity is saved, I would like the rest of the logic to be performed in Sugar. So firstly, I have my onDataChange operator here, and I have something called a branch. I have added a branch. The way to add an operator is just to find it in the toolbox out here, and we can search for it. So I could search branch. I click it, and then it gets onto the canvas. And if I don't need it, I can highlight it and right-click and delete it. That's the way we add operators to the canvas. A very important thing to understand is that we must follow a path the logic must follow a path. And the white line here is called the control flow, which dictates the way that the logic is performed. I have a branch here because I have either a true or a false outcome of this, and I want to direct my flow in one direction if it is true, and maybe in another direction if it is false. But for this particular showcase, I would like to take, when I have an opportunity, I would like to check some conditions on this opportunity, because it's not all new opportunities that I would like to perform this particular logic on. So I have added something, an operator called get entity attributes, and I would like to ask for the ID and the assigned user, account ID, opportunity type, and opportunity name for that particular opportunity that I am working with in Sugar. And for me to be able to do that, I will have to connect the on data change with the get entity attributes. So I will connect them by left click here and point it to this port here. In that way, I will tell the get entity attributes that I am now asking for elements or for values on the opportunity. If I would like to have more values from more fields on the opportunity, I can just add it by going here and pick and search. If I want the opportunity role, I could add it here. That's not the case for now, so I delete this one. And now I am working with the values and the fields of the opportunity, and I would like to check whether the opportunity is of a certain type. So I have added another operator down here, which is a drop-down operator, where I can pick the drop-down list where the types of my opportunity is stored inside Sugar, configured in Studio. And now I know it says quote type, but that's because I use the same drop-down for both quotes and for opportunity, because it's convenient for me doing that way. But for now, I would like to check whether the opportunity is either pre-sales or change request. And for that, I need a comparison, and I have chosen an operator, say, called A equals B. And I would like to say, I would like to check the opportunity type from the opportunity, which I will point into the A port, and I would like to compare it with the pre-sales value of the quote type dropdown. I also want to check if it is a change request, so I do it in the same way. I connect this one to another comparison operator, and now I take the value of change request and put it in here. So my logic should be fired if either the opportunity type is pre-sale or change request. So I will have to direct the answer, the true or the false outcome of this, to the main flow, which is up here. And for that, I use an OR operator, because either it should be pre-sale or it should be change request. And if this is true, the result of the OR operator will also be true, and I will direct this to the branch condition, and now this branch will result in true. So the outcome will be true, and if it is true, I would like to create the hours task record. And for that, I use the create entity operator, which I have added. I could do like this. Create entity out here. Just for showing you, I will delete it. And I would like to create an hours task record. And I would like to set some values for some specific fields when I create it. And for that use, I will use the set entity attribute. But I must make sure that when I create this hours task, I must connect it by the entity socket from here to here, because otherwise, if I don't, I am not able to tell the logic in which record the fields I am setting. So for this particular showcase, I would like to set the hours task status to active. And for that use, once again, I use the drop-down value and I use the hours task status list, pick the value that I would like to set, and connect them in the exact same way as I did over here. I also want to set the type, and I want that to be service, and I do it like that. So now the logic gives me the name of the hours task, which I actually get from the opportunity name, because here I am getting attributes from the opportunity. So I take the name and I put it into the name of the hours task, and the same way I take the assigned user from the opportunity and direct it to the set entity attributes for the assigned user. So now I will have an hours task with the same name of the opportunity, with the same assigned user, and with the value of active and service in those two fields. Finally, or almost finally, I need to save the entity, and I will have to direct the control flow by using this white line, and I also have to use the entity to tell what's the record that we are actually saving. Now the hours task has been created and it has been saved, and finally I would like to link it back to the opportunity. And for that I use the link entity attribute, and in the same way as before, I connect the control flow like this, and I connect the entity over here, and I select the module that I would like to link this hours task to. And using the link entities actually also saves the record. And this is basically the steps I needed to be able to create a new hours task record when I create an opportunity of a certain type. So now I have created the logic in Logic Builder, but that's not the final step, because the final step is, of course, to deploy this to our Sugar instance. And for that, I will go to the flowchart option over here, and I have the possibility to save the flowchart that I just generated. Do like this. And after that, I will have to generate a package that I can upload in Sugar using the module loader. And I will click on the option down here, Generate Sugar Package, and click Generate. And I have, hopefully, here I got the package. And this package, I can go to my Sugar instance, go here, choosing the admin module, go to module loader, choose the file, there it is, open, upload, and when I have uploaded it, it will get down here in the lower section of module loader, and I just click install, and that's it. The logic that I built over here is uploaded to Sugar and is now in function. That's how easy it is to do, but of course this is a simple task to perform. And now I will show you the real reason why we actually decided to go with Logic Builder. And this is a far more complex logic that I have built, but I haven't built this logic that is entirely myself. I have had very much help from Integros and the people at Integros. But before I load the flowchart, I would like to show you what the task actually is. So I will do like this. The main issue here is that we would like to be able to generate correct revenue line items for our invoicing department by a simple quote creation. What we have experienced is that sometimes we forget to invoice our customers, and that is not very good for business. So of course we would like to be able to remember to invoice customers for the time that we actually spend on providing them with our solution. So very simple, we would like to create a quote, and when the quote is created, we would like to generate correct invoicing revenue line items that our invoicing department will continue to work with for invoicing our customers. And I will show you how that is done. So I will load the flowchart that is actually responsible for this to take place in Sugar. I will load it. And I will be able to show you that this is far more complex. Let's go to the end of it. This is the end of the flowchart, and I will explain, not in details, but basically what it is the logic actually does. But you see there are a few more operators in this compared to the flowchart that we saw just a few minutes ago. The way I can zoom in and out on the canvas is by using the wheel on my mouse. And once again, right click and move around the canvas for be able to see the blocks that I would like to work on. So basically, what we are doing in this logic is that we have the same on data change operator, and when we create a quote of a certain type and with some specific criteria, we would like to check if there are any quoted line items related to this quote. This is what we are doing here. So what we do here is that we retrieve related entities and we ask for the products. We then check whether the number of products is more than 0. And if that is true, we would like to direct the flow, the logic, to this branch. When we get to here, we would like to create an opportunity, and we would like to set some of the values in the opportunity just the same way as we did with the hours task. And we get some of the values for our new opportunities. We get them from the quote. So we have a get entity attribute and we direct it back to the quote. It's just the same thing as we did, but it's a bit more complex. So we create an opportunity, we set some values, we save it, and then we link it back to the quote. When we have done that, we would like to make the revenue line items. I won't explain all of this because that will be going into too much details, but basically what the logic at Logis Solutions is that we would like to say when we have a quote, despite the number of products that we have on this quote, we would like to generate 1, 2, or 3 revenue line items on the opportunity. And we would like to do that in a way that the total sum of the quote will be split into 1, 2, or 3 payments in according to business logic. So that's why we have a section up here called no split, which is actually just updating We have something called two payments, which is splitting all the quoted line item into two revenue line items. In the same way, we split them into three revenue line items. And there are, of course, criteria for directing the control flow, the white line. So in the end of these branches, we can see the control flow, which is highlighted here, which will go into some other details just for setting a counter for how many revenue line items would we like to create. Then we follow the control flow, and we perform logic on each of the revenue line items that we have decided to build. And then we will create the revenue line items in here, and we will check some other values that I won't bore you with. And when we have created that, then we will go through some steps for setting the name of the revenue line items according to some other criteria, depending on are there 1, 2, or 3 revenue line items, what are the products, etc., etc. And then when we have done that, we would like to set, once again, we would like to set values for that particular revenue line items that we are generating. And you see there is a number of operators down here setting different values that we have living within the logic. When we have set all the values, then we will have to save the record. This is done by the save entity. And then there is a small trick here. The trick is that when we create revenue line items from the sugar product catalog, it actually sets the unit price and the currency to how the product catalog is configured. And we don't want to do that on a convert from a quote to an opportunity. And that's why we have a small trick here to actually set the unit price and the currency based on calculations that we have somewhere here. You see we calculate unit price and the currency also. So going back to the end of the flow, we save it, we set this, and we save it once again. And finally, what I do here is that I write some values to the sugar log, because it's very convenient when you are debugging, and there will be a lot of debugging when you start. But it's very nice to see what are the values during the logic that Logic Builder performs. So that's why I print out different values in the log. And that is basically what I'm going to show you right now, how that actually works in Sugar. I know there is a lot of operators, and once again, I will be honest to say I did not build this entirely myself. I had a lot of help from the people at Integros. So thank you very much, Dimitri and Vicky and Anastasia. Thank you very much for your help during my build process. Of course, this logic is already deployed to my Sugar instance, and I will now show you how that is actually invoked. So I have an account here, Gecko and Company, from the movie Wall Street. And up here, I have, of course, my Sugar is also customized to support the needs that we have at Logis Solutions. But for this particular case, I would like to show you that I have a button up here where I will be able to create different set of quotes. I have different quote types. The button up here is not standard out of the box Sugar. It's provided by a plugin by a third-party vendor called WeSystems, and they provide something called V-Record buttons, which is very smart thing to use, because it gives a way of giving records, showing them with the visual on. So I use these records throughout my sugar instance to show statuses and to perform different kind of logic, because we can actually configure this to do some different things. So to show this, I am now on the Gecko account, and I would like to create a quote of the type change request. I will give it a name. We could call it webinar number 1. And I put up a valid until. I choose some products from the product catalog. I would like to have maybe a license. I also want some services. I want this one. And then I want something called time and material. And I would like to have different quantities. I would like to have, let's say, 10 of those, and they should have a value each of 100. And the scoping, I need, let's say, 5 to 200, and I want a license, which will be the costly one. It will cost us 1,000. So now I have a quote with the grand total of $3,000, and I would like to save this for my logic to take event in a few seconds. But the main thing is I would like to dictate how many splits the opportunity should be provided with. So I would like this to be with 2 payments. So I save this record. I go to my quote. And now I have 3 different products. But when I accept the quote, which is also a button, you can see I use them pretty heavily. Actually, this accept quote equals the same thing as create opportunity from quote, but with some specifics, because I want the unit price and the currency to respect my business logic. That's why I created the button, which will actually initiate the logic that we just saw a few minutes ago in the logic builder. So when I do this, you see it sets the quote stage to closed accepted, and it provides me with the name of the opportunity. And if I open up the opportunity, I have an opportunity with the likely sum of $3,000, and down here I have 2 revenue line items, which I have also dictated the naming convention for through Logic Builder. And you see they are split into 2, so $1,500 each. And that is basically what the logic does. I could also have split it into 3 payments if I would like to do that. And I have other quote types that does other things, maybe splits them into a frequency of monthly. Let's say I create subscriptions, which I have also deployed Logic Builder logic for. But this is basically what it does. So very easily create my quote, and with the click of a button, I generate the correct invoicing revenue line items for my invoicing department to take care of. And actually, just to mention the button once again, let's say I click this button. I change the sales stage to ready for invoicing. In that way, integration makes sure that invoicing department get the notified on this particular revenue line item, and the invoice status is changed to green with another label. So that is basically what I have done and what I have achieved by using Logic Builder. So Anastasia, I think it's back to you.
Yep, I make screen mine. So I move. Okay, thank you for showing us your tasks. It was really, really great. And could you please sum up your experience with Logic Builder? Sum up.
Yes,
Before
of course,
now.
of course, of
Mm-hmm.
course. Yeah, first of all, when I saw Logic Builder, I thought that that was just the tool that I needed. The solution that I have just showed you, creating those two revenue line items, is actually a solution version number 2. The first version that I built entirely with the standard out-of-the-box Sugar configuration possibilities. So I used Studio, and I used process definitions, and of course I also used these buttons. I created the split in several steps where I had to click a number of buttons to get this logic fulfilled. But now I have Logic Builder, and I do it all in one step. So the previous version, it took me around 3 months to build, and within these 3 months I also had to come up with the business logic. So of course that also took quite a few hours and days. But then I found Logic Builder, and I would say that within 14 days we managed to migrate the 3 months solution into a Logic Builder solution that actually works very, very smooth, and the user experience using this version number 2 of my business logic has been increased dramatically, because it's with a click of a button. So very, very quickly I was able to make a very advanced business logic useful in my Sugar instance. And if I had had Logic Builder from the start, I would probably have been able to do the full implementation from idea start to implementation final very, very quickly, compared to using Sugar Standard Studio and process definitions and etc. However, I will say that using process definitions and Sugar Studio out of the box can get you very, very long, and you probably already know that. But sometimes it's easy to have the flexibility of a developer without being able to develop, and showing or building the logic in Logic Builder gives you a very easy way of following the flow, because you have everything in one place. Without Logic Builder, I built a number of process definitions, and managing the sequence of the way they were initiated in Sugar also took a few hours to figure out that. So I really like Logic Builder, and I think it is a great tool for non-developers with the business knowledge that they would like to implement. And also, a final word is, when you have your full flow in Logic Builder, it's quite easy to implement small changes, because you just have to add another operator with another comparison operator to check a certain value or something like that. So yeah, so I am pretty impressed, and I really like the tool. So I think that is basically my experience. And finally, the support that I had from Integrus was very, very, very good. I will say that. So once again, Dimitri, Vicky, and Anastasia, thank you very much for helping me out. And I think that's the words for me for now, Anastasia.
Thank you so much. So, if you would like to see what other tasks we already showed and what tutorials there are, you could visit our website to see all records. And also, there is a question about price. So I will show you that you can navigate to our site and go to Sugar Add-ons Logic Builder. You can get some information about Logic Builder here, and also here is the price on for Logic Builder. I see there are a few more questions, and I see that are more technical questions, so I can't answer them right now. But I will obviously follow up these questions later when I have an answers after the webinar. Also, I see some more questions. What version of Sugar CRM does it support? It supports the latest Sugar CRM versions, Enterprise, Pro, Sell, and Surf. Is it possible to debug the logic? As Lars showed on his flowchart, which is complicated about invoices, there are special operators which allows you to debug your logic. So yes, the answer is yes. Will this work on in-house hosted version of Sugar CRM? Yes, it will, because there are several ways how you can connect Logic Builder to your Sugar. So if your Sugar can be accessed from the internet, you can simply connect Logic Builder to your Sugar instance, or otherwise you can download metadata. So what fields, what custom modules there are in your Sugar instance, and download into Logic Builder and work without direct connection. Does it work in the professional version? Yes, it works with professional version. So for now, there are no more questions. Some technical I will follow up shortly. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, you can contact us in any convenient way. We will be happy to help you. And yeah, I see the question about trial. I forgot to tell you that obviously, please go and try Logic Builder. You can do this right now because we offer 30 days trial for you. So again, thank you very much for watching and joining us today. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day and bye-bye.